When I was little, I had this picture in my head of who I wanted to look like, what I wanted to accomplish, and who I wanted to marry. I wanted to look like Clark Gable. I wanted to become a famous architect like Frank Lloyd Wright. And I wanted to marry Madonna. Well, things didn't quite turn out that way, but I feel like I accomplished many things in my life. Last week, you briefly heard me talk about my version of being the Karate Kid. But to be honest with you, I felt like I was the little tomahawk. So let me tell you a little bit more about myself. I was born in Brooklyn, New York in July of 1963. My parents were from Italian descent. They came over to America right after the Second World War to start a new life here. A few things that I remember when I was a child, one of them was being that my parents loved both of us, my brother and I, very, very much. And they had one problem, and that was saying the L word. You know the word love. For some reason, they had just a hard time saying it in my household. Okay? But of course, I knew they loved me very, very much. I mean, they had to love me. I mean, how can you forgive a child that almost burned the house down? There's another story that I can remember, and that is I always got to wear the clothes that no longer fit my brother. I believe they call me hand-me-downs. Well, you know, at first I was excited that I got to wear all these nice clothes that no longer fit my brother, and especially when he grew so quickly, you know. But after a few years, you know, I felt like I was being denied the privilege of being my own person, you know. I got to wear clothes that I didn't even know were mine. I had friends coming up to me and saying, "Oh, hey, I didn't know you liked that Kiss t-shirt. I mean, you like that group Kiss?" And I was like, "I don't like Chris. I like Madonna. I'm going to marry her someday." Well, you know, they said, "Well, why you wear a Kiss t-shirt?" And I would say, "It used to belong to my brother." So at the age of 11, you can see that I would get these hand-me-downs so dirty that they were unwashable. I began to complain about it, how big they were, how ugly they were. Well, you know, my parents finally decided to buy my clothes that really showed my own personality. I was a small kid for my age, and I attended a small Catholic school. Each day we would line up outside, and we would march up into our classrooms. For lunch, we would march down to the cafeteria, and then after school, we would march outside. Well, guess what? The teachers would line us up in size order, and I knew exactly where I went. I was the first in line every time. Well, being the first in line had some good responsibilities. I get to make sure that everybody was lined up in the right order, and I was the one to make sure that nobody talked in line when we marched up in class. I also got to tell the teacher if anybody stepped out of line. So, as a teenager, I joined the bowling league, and I also joined Taekwondo. I became very good at Taekwondo, and within a few years, I became a brown belt, which was nice because I ended up sparring against people that were bigger and taller than I was. And I even had to spar against my own instructor. Well, at the age of 17, my family decided to move to Florida, and I was furious. I hated the move. I said to myself, I had to make all new friends, and I had to adapt to a whole new surrounding. Well, after a few months, I got over it, and I started college, and I started to take college and become an architect. Well, after the second year of college, I had a teacher that wasn't very fond of my drawings, and so I decided to change my career. I went ahead and became a computer engineer, and I got my degree, a bachelor's degree, from University of South Florida. After that, I went ahead and got married, and I had a beautiful, lovely daughter named Vanessa. Well, at the age of 2, let me tell you, I felt like I gave birth to the Tasmanian devil, okay? Every cabinet in my house that had a knob quickly had a padlock, okay? But now she's the love of my life, and just last year I was blessed to be a grandfather. Well, unfortunately, my professional career didn't take off as quickly as my family life did. Very hard to find a job in the very beginning, but I did get a job with Mead Papers in the accounts payable department. After 6 years, they decided to move the accounting department to Canton, Ohio. Well, so it happens. But I went ahead and then started working with IBM, GTE, Nielsen Media Research, and I kept in touch with friends along the way. I had the opportunity to apply for a position here at Verizon as a production support specialist. And I want to tell you a little bit about that one of the interviews I had. Actually, I had to go on 4 different interviews. But the last interview, I got a call on a Sunday afternoon from the director of the production support service department manager. And he basically asked me one question that I remember to this day. And basically, he asked me, what makes you stand out as the person that I want to hire for this position? And I basically said, because I'm the best at what I do. And I have years of experience. And I working with people, building their confidence and rapport. And whenever they have a problem, I want to make sure that there's nobody else that they want but me. So a couple of things that I really enjoy is fishing, bowling, traveling, and spending time with my wife and family. Looking back at my life, I know that that things that matter most in life are not the same as when I was a kid. I realized that the things that I went through growing up has made me who I am today. Although I no longer look like Clark Gable, I did not become an architect, nor did I marry Madonna, thank God. My life turned out just the way I wanted it to be. Thank you, Toastmasters.